Hi guys, it's Jenny here and I'm back with another 12x12 process video for you today. This one's for the Kitaholic Kits design team using the February kits. Yeah, February kits. These are packed full of the Dealer's New Day collection. It's got some Jamel Head in the Clouds as well and a bunch of other bits and pieces as well. So I'm using one of this month's exclusive cut files. It's a really fun sun with some florals on the center, and I thought it might be a fun idea to kind of back each of those sun rays with a different pattern paper. Now I was originally going to leave those flowers plain, but when I'd done it I decided very quickly that I would do the flowers as well. I mean, how could you not? So all I'm doing is basically using the cut apart pattern papers from the pocket page, and they're great for backing cut files with. And yep, I am just basically popping a bit of glue on that cut file, gluing it on the pattern paper and trimming off the excess. So it's super simple, and this was a really quick cut file to back because those pieces are quite large on the sun rays. So I'm just going through that quickly. I think I need to do a few. I don't make you watch it all. Okay, rightio, so we skipped to it. It's all done. I've done the flowers with the same pattern papers that are in the sun rays. And now I'm just going to flick through and see if I can find something that could work for my background. And I came across the mermaids and thought, oh, I could really use them. But then I thought, no, I will leave that for another layout just in case. Or I may want to use the back side of that pattern paper. So I'm just continuing to look through. None of the papers were really striking my interest because I'd pretty much used most of those solid ones. In the sun rays, so it was kind of getting a little bit matchy. So I went to my cardstock, I pulled out white, and then I pulled out this aqua colour. I went for white, but I felt like it was just kind of a little bit boring for me. So I'm just fussing around thinking, what can I do? What can I bring onto this page to really brighten it up? Die cuts are a great option. So I'm just pulling them out of the packet. Just popping them. I'm thinking about maybe I could fussy cut something. Just having a look through what I've got in the kits. I've got stickers. I've got so many pattern papers, so I thought, well, maybe if I mount my photo on some pattern papers, I'm going to use the same patterns that are in those sun rays just to coordinate that photo with what's going on in that cut file. So we've got a lime green. This red, it is a beautiful red. I'm not a fan of red, but this is a gorgeous shade of red. And then I'm just going to do pink on one side as well. So I'm just trimming it up so that it fits behind the photo. And I'll pop that up there. I'll tidy up a little bit. I'm going to back my entire cut file with some adhesive foam just to prop it up. I always do this 99% of the time. Just finishing that off. And because the photo is hanging over the side of the sun, I'm just going to pop a little bit of adhesive foam in the centre so that it stays at the same level. Okay, so this is about the time when I think maybe I could do some mixed media. I really enjoyed the splatters that I did on my last Kitaholic Kits design team layout, so I thought I would do it again. And with the lime green in this kit, I was able to bring in that lime green colour as well. That's in those Vicky Boughton acrylic paint sets, and I did bring in a yellow. This is one from my stash. It's I think it might be a Dina Wakley, but any yellow acrylic paint would do. All I'm doing is basically squeezing a little bit out in a bit of water and using my paintbrush to splatter it in my fingers, make it a big old mess. And then I'm going to go through, pretty much all of those colours and do the same thing. So I'm doing it around kind of the area where the sun curves around the page, pretty much. So I'm going to go through all the colours. I don't make you watch me clean up because I'm a bit of a neat freak. So I'm going through the lime green now. And the light pink. And I'm doing a lot of fine splatters, but I want some thicker ones as well, some big blobs. So I'm making sure to pick up a lot of paint on that brush to get some really big blobs on the page. And the last one, this lovely dark pink. Add a bit of water, mix it up, just so that it's a nice fluid consistency, and splattering that around the page. And now we're back. Now I did dry it with my heat gun because I was a little bit impatient. So, so I felt like it still needed a little bit of something dark to kind of ground it all. So I've chosen this black print with the arrows on it, and I'm going to cut it into an L shape. It's about 2 inches wide each side, and I'm going to mount that to the bottom left and the left side of the layout. I'm going to trim off 1/2 inch off that bottom and left hand side of that white cardstock. And then I'm just going to use some double-sided tape just to mount it in place. So I'm just going to do 1 strip is sufficient. I'm just going to pull up a little bit of that tape, and then I'm going to line that white cardstock back and just peel that tape out. Super simple. Same on this side, just making sure it's lined up. There we go, all done. Right, so I can put my sun back in place in my photo. And I really wanted to use some of these gold foam thickers, so I'm just kind of trying to decide what my title could be, and I end up with Weekend Fun. The photo, I haven't even mentioned the photos of my daughter Addison and 2 of her cousins playing out in the backyard underneath the sprinkler. They were having a fun old time, so that's great use of these thickers for the title. And I wanted to get them in place because they're so large, and I often find that when I leave my title for last, and it's like a large title, I struggle to fit it in, and it ends up in a really awkward place. So if you place it down first, then you can kind of build your layout around it. I did pull off one of those little Heidi Swap sticker labels and tucked it in the photo. It just says noted. I thought it was a nice little detail up there. And when I'm going to go through some of the exclusive die cuts, and I just want another pop of colour up there, so I'm actually looking for something yellow. I want to bring more yellow to the page, so I've found a yellow label. I've just cut it in half and tucked it up the top there as well. Okay, so now I can go through the die cuts, and I knew that there were some numbers in there, so I thought I could get a great use out of those numbers. So I'm using the 1, 2 and 3 because there's 3 of them. And I also know that there's a bunch of cacti in this die cut and in the stickers and stuff as well, and I often find they're quite hard to use. So because it's kind of a fun, quirky kind of layout, I thought it might be a good opportunity to get those cactus and funny plants and stuff onto the page, and they're bringing a bunch of colour onto that background as well. Okay, so I'm just continuing to go through them. I mean, I could use pretty much any of these die cuts, but I think this was a good layout to kind of focus on using some of those harder to use pieces like the cacti and stuff. So, and the watermelon, that's a hard one, and I've got that watermelon print on one of the sun rays, so it was a great opportunity for me to bring in those watermelons. And I mean, the photo's all about summer fun and all that kind of stuff, so watermelon goes I think hand in hand with a layout like this. Okay, I did pull off a little label from the exclusive ones. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. It said family, so I'm going to pop that up the top there. And I pulled a bunch of cacti from that die cut pack, like I said. And now I'm just going to go through the other bits and pieces. So the sticker sheet, there's some more cacti on there. So I'm going to bring one down that bottom right hand corner of the page just to bring a bit more interest down there. And I'm going to start to form another cluster there. So I do fuss around with this chipboard piece and the die cuts and tried to switch them around, but I felt like they were kind of that large die cut piece down the bottom was a bit too just a bit too big, so I do end up popping it back to where it was because it fit quite nicely up there, and put that chipboard cactus back and just kind of left it as is. I'm sure I'd find something else to pop there. I found a few chipboard watermelons. I'm going to bring them onto the page and just continue to look for those pieces that I think will work, those harder to use pieces as well. And that was my solution down that bottom right for that little area down there, was this little house down there. So I'm quite happy with those clusters, and I'm just going to start to glue everything down now pretty much. I'm just working on my bottom layers and working my way up. So I'm going to glue that giraffe down. and this pot of flowers, and there we go. Kind of skip 2, and I've done pretty much everything. I've glued that cut file down as well. Those numbers 2 and 3 on those die cuts I've propped up on some adhesive foam just to give them a little bit of interest up there. So now I'm just kind of hunting around for some final touches, and we've got some watermelon puffy stickers. I'm just trying to find the right spot for that one. A little cactus, I'm going to pop that up there. It's another layer, another texture. I'm going to pop another one up there, and a little rainbow, because why not? We've got a sun. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to trim off the excess of that cut file just to tidy up my page and the bottom of that sticker. And that bit just wasn't quite sticking, so I'm just making sure that everything's going to stay stuck down, so I'm just adding a bit more extra glue behind everything. And we've got a little pack of sequins in this month's kit. So there's a bunch of little gold hearts and stars, the same as the blue as well, but I thought I'd bring in some gold. So I'm going to dot a few little gold hearts around the page, just in those clusters and around where those splatters of paint are on the layout. So they're a nice little touch to the page. So I'm just dotting them around. I do add a few inside the circular part of that sun as well. Now I was looking at it and I felt like the title kind of felt a little bit incomplete, so I had a look through the Chamel stickers, and I knew there was a pink and a gold one, and it was just perfect, just went with it. So I'm just going to add to that title and just make it Weekend Fun in the Sun. So I'm using those little pink alphas for that. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue behind them to make sure that they all stick down. Just quickly do that. And I will just fix up the word weekend because it was a little bit wonky. It wasn't looking quite right. And then after that, that's pretty much it for my layout. So I do hope you enjoyed the process, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.